never gets old.
The problem with having such a great theme song is that it's like the show just goes downhill. You know,
that's right. How do you?
It peaks at the beginning.
You really should have the intro on the end of the show, and then play the intro again as the outro.
Well, that's why we promised. We'll play that again at the end of the show if you stick around.
You see what I'm wearing, Dave? Today
looks like a jean jacket. Looks like a Canadian tuxedo. Are you?
I'm wearing what they call the Alberta dinner jacket.
I love it.
I wore this special for today. I have a feeling our guest today will. You want to bet that our guest is wearing an Alberta dinner jacket too?
I don't make bets with you. I don't make dollar bets with you.
Doll hair bets.
Yes, that I will do. Sure, let's do it. Let's put some doll hairs on it. The Alberta dinner jacket.
Well, let's bring him on. Our guest today is a Canadian country singer and songwriter from Alberta, Canada. His second single, Found, reached 16 on the Canadian country chart, making it the highest charting independent single on Canadian country radio. His new single, Roll With It, featuring the Roadhammers, is out now. Please welcome our friend Dan Davidson.
Woo! Hey, guys. I wore my finest jacket for you.
Look at this. You were right.
Yes.
I got married in this, and I'm going to get buried in this.
So, are you guys ready? So, let me ask you.
He already got a guitar. This is trouble.
Who do you think is the biggest Canadian country singer of all time, like highest selling? Who do you think it is?
Shania Twain.
I don't know. It's probably somebody that you'd never guess, like somebody classic, like Hank Snow or something like that.
I went for Shania Twain.
It's probably totally Shania Twain. Yeah. Can you hear that?
Let's go, girls.
There it is.
Crushing it. Yeah, everyone's got that.
It took me 4 hours to figure that out. 4 hours to write that.
Worth every second spent, my friend.
We met Shania Twain once. Do you remember that,
Ty? Yes, we gave her an award at the Junos. And she hugged each one of us, I think, even a kiss on the cheek.
It's pretty special.
Could have died.
She was wearing she wore like hockey, like special dresses in all her changes. She wore like different NHL hockey team themed dresses. And so when we actually gave her the award, she hosted it. She was wearing like a Daniel Sedin Canucks dress. It was pretty cool. It's like, I remember that. It was cool.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, she's a big star. I think she might be more famous than me.
She's more famous than anybody.
She's one of the most famous Canadians. I think it's okay to be less famous than Shania Twain.
Yeah, we'll accept it.
It's pretty.
She kind of just stopped though, right? She's had the hugest career, and then she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna retire on top.
Well, she did that Vegas thing forever, right? Can you imagine doing 5 shows a week for like 10, 12 years? You'd be so tired, and you'd be so in shape vocally. It'd be insane.
How can you possibly turn the most enjoyable job of like performing live music into a 9-to-5 fucking day job? Like, no, I don't want to do it. So I do it 5 days a week in the exact same city.
Same set.
I would do it for 1 week.
We could do it. Let's do a theory. It'll be like in downtown Las Vegas, like on the old strip.
The D.
In front of the D.
The D Hotel.
At Hooters.
We were talking to Cara DiGuardi, and because she did like theater. What was she in? She was in some play on Broadway. I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember.
But she's like, we do like 7 shows a week, like 2 on Sundays or something like that. And I'm like, no way, absolutely not.
I quit.
Crazy.
I didn't get into music to have to work my ass off. Okay.
Oh, shit.
I got a friend who was the music director at the O Show in Vegas for a while, and he did it for like 15 years. And I went to go check it out, and he like took me backstage and showed me all like the 13-year-old Ukrainian freaks and stuff. And it's crazy the amount of stuff that goes into it. But he said it's literally the same set, the same button pushing, same MIDI triggering every day, day in, day out, 6 nights a week. And it's just like,
it's a good show too. That's like one of the
unbelievable show,
the premier shows.
Yeah, it was super entertaining. So crazy to see them backstage too. Like as soon as somebody does a trick, they like go back, get a massage, go practice it on the trampoline room, and then they go to the fake water tank, and then
pulling their legs up, stretching.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Wow. Like there's these kids, they're basically children, and they can do like a standing backflip and land one-footed on somebody else's head. Like it's just freakish.
Yeah, and they're and it's interesting because like you gotta like the smell of, because when you go and watch it, it smells like you're like at a pool or something.
Chlorine. You're at a public pool.
Smells like water.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's every day you just smell that smell.
I don't think many people are peeing in those pools, though. I think.
I wonder if you're like part of the thing and you're like, you got to go. The old performers are in there like, you have 5 seconds. You're like, oh.
Well, if you pee your pants when you're in the Beatles show, you probably get noticed a lot more than the Ho show, I think.
Oh, that's my favorite show. Was it Love? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
You know what? There was actually one that I saw in Vegas that I fell asleep at. And I'm embarrassed to say it. I think it was Ka, but I'd been heavily drinking all day, so there's that.
Is it the animal one?
No, it's like a storybook one. I think like it's actually cool. I have no good reason.
How are you not going to fall asleep at the storybook one, right?
Well, there you go.
That's the whole point. It's like, why they should have a Vegas show that like purposely makes you fall asleep. And it's all old people go in there. And it's just like they just I don't know, was it murder?
They serve you liver and onions, and then they like reenact a Matlock episode.
I would go, and all the chairs are like recliners. I remember they got the mouths open.
I hated that. We went and saw Blade Runner 2058 or whatever the hell it was, and it was literally like full like leather recliner chairs, and it was like 1,000 degrees. I was in that chair, and I'm like, man, it's so hot in here. Why is it so hot? Why do I have a leather chair that's full like cowhide? What is the deal here? It's so hot. I just projectile vomited the next morning.
That's right. You did. But weren't you guys baked?
Obviously, I don't think I've been to a movie in my life.
Was that the projectile vomit morning on the bus with Andy?
Yes.
I like how it's a famous projectile vomit moment on the bus.
Well, no one was up. I heard about it later.
Oh,
yeah. You guys have this thing like when you throw up, are you full pin screaming at the toilet? Like I can't help myself. It's full like when I throw up. It's awful.
Singers.
I think it's a male thing.
It's a singer
I'm
thing.
silent. I'm totally silent. Just one tear.
You're just a party puker, hey?
I throw up in key.
I've got
I have perfect puke. So stupid.
That's great.
So stupid. This is great. This is a great. We've learned so much about Dan Davidson.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for having me. Yeah, that was great.
That's what makes our podcast good, though. You don't need to learn anything. You don't want to come to this and listen to our show and feel like you're being educated. Exactly.
It's in school.
You get to check out.
It's true.
Well, where are you? Are you at home?
I'm at home.
Actually in Alberta. Where are you?
I am. Yeah, I haven't strayed too far from the homeland. I'm still Edmonton, Alberta. It's a good place to be if you're doing country music. Really, it's there's money and fans here. So I don't know. Like I remember back in the rock days, everyone would always be like, "How come you haven't moved to Toronto or Nashville or Vancouver or LA or whatever?" And I'm just, well, I make money here, so I'm gonna stay close to that.
Yeah.
Alberta is like the Texas of Canada.
It is 100%, and like according to on July 1st, they've decided COVID doesn't exist anymore, so it's just gonna be full pin, open season.
Everyone's gonna be in the streets riding.
It hasn't existed here. Hasn't existed here for months, man. We're good.
I know, it was so crazy in the height of it here, and there's like 70,000 people at baseball games and stuff in Tennessee. It's like, wow.
See, watching the NHL playoffs right now, and just like the difference watching the games in Vegas versus the games in Montreal, and it's just it's two totally different experiences.
And Montreal started letting people in too. I don't know. The thing is, Alberta's crazy though. They're just all over the place. So anyway, I got some gigs this summer, so I'm stoked. It's coming back.
Yep, us too. Where are you playing? What do you got lined up?
Well, I haven't booked too many, but I'm at the Stampede. I'm at this big festival in Edmonton, and a couple shows in Saskatchewan, and yeah, it's kind of starting to. I got a show in Spain booked in October, and some stuff in Europe. So yeah.
When are you going to Australia? I see your most recent songs like flying up the Australian charts. What's going on there?
Dude, it's so weird. I have never released a song in Australia before in my life, and I know the Hammers have done some stuff down there, and I just we wrote the song together. I got them to feature on it, and I just found some promo company randomly that a couple friends had used, and I'm all independent, so it's all just kind of sort of piecemeal as far as the promo team goes. So just randomly called these people, and he was like, "Hey, I'm looking to do a radio campaign, a PR campaign," and we put something together, and he was like, first shot, and it came out, and people were adding it, and man, it's just weird. I mean, it's a tiny market compared to Canada, and as far as country goes, country is still pretty under the radar there, but it's weird in country music because it's very much like football. You can only do country music in 3 countries, right? You can go pro in America, or you can play in Canada, or you can play some weird rules in Australia. So that's what's happening. I'm playing weird rules country music right now.
You should, if you have an opportunity to go there. Like we did a tour, and it was unlike any touring we've ever done before, and I would just highly recommend it. It was so cool because we felt like a hip hop act or something, because we were flying everywhere, staying in these way too nice hotels for us. Like the promoter just took way too good a care of us. We'd show up at the hotels and be like, "Are you sure? We're supposed to be staying?"
Our writer specifically said Super 8.
Yeah, this is. Who's paying for this? So it was pretty cool. And then of course, just Australia was so beautiful, man. I just loved it so much. That 1 week of touring, although that style of flying every day and flying the morning of shows is tough, but it was, I don't know, something about that tour. I just loved every day was just an awesome day.
Well, the good thing too is if you go on a tour in the winter in Canada, you're touring in Australia in summer, so it's just like this nice little tourcation.
That's right.
That's exactly what it is. Even though touring in Canada in the winter is the the worst thing ever in history.
Oh my God, man!
Written ever.
I can't believe, like, last time I was touring, I guess was 2019, I guess, and we were up in some northern town somewhere, and like we were doing the van and trailer thing, and was filling up the diesel van, and it was so goddamn cold that the diesel froze, and I had to sit in the Shell station waiting for it to warm up to minus 25 or something.
Wow. My mom lives in Edmonton, and it can get down to minus 40, minus 50, and she says it's so dry there.
What are the chickens? They're freezing to the ground or something, right? Didn't you say something like that?
Yeah, or cats. Or her cats or animals will freeze. Their paws will freeze to the ground, and they'll die because they can't move. But yeah, chickens will be frozen to the ground. But she said it's so dry the earth will just crack, like your skin cracks. The earth just opens up, which is like a huge crack. But yeah, she'll tell me stories about how, like, they'll turn on the water, and the water has to get to the end of the hose to water for the horses. And it's so cold that if there's a kink in anything slows down the water will actually freeze before it gets to the end of the hose. And she has to take amazing. The hose and bring it inside by the fire to melt it and try again. My mom lives there. She's in her, I don't know how old she is, 90 or something.
Got to go water the plants.
And horses need to be fed 4 times a day, 7 days a week.
My wife wants to get horses. This is what I'm signing up for.
It's like 4 times a day, 7 days a week. There's no days off. That's where you guys want to go on vacation. You can find someone, live on your property.
I'm buying a horse that comes with a handler.
I see Dan. He's got a phone or something now.
We'll get him back.
I love it. I love how we're talking about and how one of the performers pee in the pool. 100% they do. Wonder if that's it's one of the customary things to do when you get hired for O. It's like, yeah, you got to pee in the pool, man. That's what you got to do.
Man, God,
you're back.
Sorry, guys, my computer just crashed out of the blue. Just give me the screen of death.
It's your diesel generator.
That's what it is. It's moose powered up here, and the moose must have just had to take a bathroom break or something.
Where in Edmonton are you at?
I'm actually just north of Edmonton in St. Albert.
Yeah, okay,
suburbs.
Yeah. But it's hot there right now. It's crazy because it gets so cold, but then it'll be what is it going to be there this week?
I think it's 30 to 35 this week. Yeah, so I don't know.
Nuts.
In Dave temperature, that's 90, something like that.
Yeah, it's double it and add 32, isn't it? 35 to 70. It's 90 something, man.
Now, where are you, Tyler? Are you in Vancouver? Are you in LA? Or where are you?
I'm in LA.
Yeah.
It's hot. It's hot. Same temperature. It'll be in the 90s this week.
Yeah, that's all right.
What's winter for me?
Problem with where I live is the humidity. That it's not the heat. It's the humidity. It just takes your breath away. You can't do anything in it.
Yeah, you still
too heavy.
How do you guys find it being in a band so far apart in 2 different cities?
I think it's good. This is what I tell people all the time is that we're a band that tours a lot. Obviously this last, 15 months or whatever, year and a half is a bit of an asterisk, but so it's I feel like we don't need to live in the same city when we're off. We're not rehearsing necessarily between tours and stuff. And we can always get together between records if we need to. But I mean, you know, it's funny is that when you have like 10 days off, even if we lived in the same city, like we wouldn't be seeing each other.
That's true.
Yes.
I mean, that's why planes exist, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, even now, like, you can do everything over. I mean, you really jam over Zoom if you really had to. I mean, technology, it's been good. But yeah, it's almost like being married. The four of us are married. And so it's like you need to get away from your husband or wife once in a while, just a little bit, you know?
So is Dave your husband or your wife?
Looking forward to
Dave's my husband.
He's a good, loyal husband.
It's funny as we've roomed together. Like we did when we did our last two records, we shared a flat in England.
Oh, we did the records in England? That's cool.
Yeah, there's no like husband wife roles, you know. It's funny is that it's everybody does everything, you know, like Ty will cook one day, be like, I'm going to make a chili, you know, and I'm like, awesome. I'm in on that chili, you know, or the next day I'll be making pizzas with some chorizo. He's like, oh yeah. I'm like, don't worry, man. I got one for you too. You know, like it's kind of just like it worked out. It didn't feel like there was anybody like, I made pizzas tonight. Where were you? You didn't tell me you were going to be late. You went to the gym.
No.
Well, maybe I'd take you out if you fix yourself up a little bit.
Yeah,
That's
could
right.
you just send me a text message? Maybe let me know.
It makes me dinner, and I take it. And I take it, and I throw it, like smashing against the wall. Yeah, we usually take turns ordering Indian food.
Yeah,
so good.
Doing the heavy lifting, right?
Well, what about you?
Awesome.
So now that you are not in like, what about the Tupelo guys? Like, what's the deal? So you're a country singer, so it's you. So do you have a band?
It's kind of weird, man. Like, it's funny because when I switched over to country, like probably a lot of people that are listening to this don't really know my old world, but I was in this band, obviously you guys know, called Tupelo Honey, and got to tour with you guys a lot. And that was a lot of fun. We had some good memories, played some great shows. But yeah, you know, things changed. We wanted to try some different things. And when I moved over to country, like I was seeing guys like Dallas Smith from Default, who were just like opening for Florida Georgia Line and playing all these crazy shows. And I remember I went to see Dallas at an after party in Edmonton after opening for Florida Georgia Line at Rogers or whatever massive place it was. And there was like 1,000 people there just lined up to get in to see him. And he's like sitting drinking beer, probably getting paid to do it. And I was like, oh, country music. And went in and he was like, dude, you should, you know, because he knew I was looking to kind of do a solo thing. And he's like, man, you should think about country because it's really not all that different from what we were doing before. And, you know, there's like this great fan base that's from like 15 to 90 and they're super loyal. And in Canada, there's some money in country music. And I was
country and rock are like hand in hand.
Man, these days
I do that every episode. I'm telling you though, but country and rock, they you're right when you say it's not that much different. There's so many songs that you could literally just barely tweak it and it would change genres just like that. Between country and rock, they're so close. There's such a fine line separating them.
And even in the Tupelo days when we were touring and we did some shows with Bon Jovi for a while and watching when they were kind of toying with their country record, and it was still, they were doing their 80s rock thing, but it's still, it was able to straddle the line. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, to answer your question, Tyler, I brought two of the guys from Tupelo with me in the band. So it's like, it really does feel like nothing's changed. Like a lot of the stage dynamics are the same. And when you play with somebody for that long, as you guys know, it's like, you can anticipate what they're going to do and you know what the changes are and what's going to happen. So it's this weird brotherhood thing, right? So yeah, I was really excited to have Tyler and Greg come with me in the band and we do some of the tricks that we used to pull out in the Tupelo days. So kind of feels just like chapter 2 kind of.
That's cool.
It's weird in this business, like lightning hardly ever strikes twice. So I feel pretty lucky that I'm able to have a second career and now it's led me to a lot of interesting things too. I've been writing and producing lots. I was
going to say you're writing with Clayton Bellamy a bunch too, right? I know. Is he based out of Nashville?
Clay lived in Nashville for like 12 years or something, but he's out on a little small town in Alberta now. But he, I just co-produced with a friend of mine in England. We did this rock record for Clay, and it's like Royal Blood kind of style, and it's something Clay has never done before, and I'm so stoked for it to come out. It's called The Congregation.
I've heard some of that stuff. It's very cool.
Yeah, man. So we're working on that, and I've produced 3 songs for the Roadhammers record and wrote a bunch on that record. And it's been busy. I actually produced a band that opened for you guys on your last Canadian tour, band Weapons. Yeah.
Oh, yes. W3 Apons.
3 Apons. That's the one. Yes.
That's right.
Hey, those guys are good boys. That was our last taste of touring, was with those guys.
Oh, that's right. I guess that would have been. Hey, yeah.
That was our last run.
Clay and I did 3 songs on the record, and the guys from the Trues did the other 3. So pretty cool.
They're a good band. I really enjoyed that run with those guys. I love being out on tour with bands that don't have a ton of like touring experience. It's just fun to sort of relive those moments through them.
Oh man,
through their eyes.
So exciting. Well, that was like the stage that Tupelo was at when we were playing with you guys. You guys were on the Gasoline record, I think, when we were doing that big tour. So it was a long time ago.
Yeah, like 05, 06. I remember that.
Holy crap.
I know. Isn't that crazy to say out loud?
Ago. I know.
Gross.
Wow.
What's next now? What are you working on right now? You gonna release some more stuff soon? You got a full length coming out, and you doing anything like that?
Yeah, I haven't really done too much as far as like releasing records. Like it seems like singles are kind of more the way that I end up going, but I got a plan to get a record out in the fall. I've got another single coming up. I'm going to ride this one out in Australia for a bit and see what happens with the rest of Canada. But yeah, man, just trying to book up some shows and get some more music out. I've been super busy with the production and the writing side of things, doing all these different styles. Like my publisher's got me writing for K-pop bands all the time now. And I just got a hold with one of the biggest K-pop bands, and it's so insanely strange when you're a mid 30-year-old dude playing country music and then trying to channel my inner 14-year-old Korean girl. It's very strange.
You can do it, man. You can do it.
Yeah,
it's
cool. It's fun.
Yeah. It would be impressive. We'd love to see you have a hit with a K-pop because they're massive.
It's, that always blows my mind that there's this other world of bands and fans. Like those shows that these bands have never heard of play will be like Wembley Stadium. And it's just mind blowing that exists in the world somewhere that we've never heard. It's pretty cool.
We've seen it too. We've been we did that one tour, somewhere in England, Ty, and then we played that one show. We were playing some room, and the venue next to us had some band I'd never heard of playing there, and it was literally lined up, like, I don't know, thousands of people lined up, and I'm like, who is that?
Yeah.
Who are they going? What kind of music is that? But it was a huge, big deal. I mean, there was a lot of
hip hop. I went and looked the guy up. Yeah, it was all kids. It was all
pouring rain, and they're all wearing like nothing.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? It's kind of the DSP thing. Like there's like all these underground hits that you'll never hear on the radio. They're just massive. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember Faber Drive?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So Dave Faber, his kid has a song that just hit 1 billion streams.
Oh, wow.
1 billion.
Faber has a kid?
He's got a kid. And his kid's like a pop star.
Paying the rent.
It probably is.
What's his kid's name? I'll just go check it out. Something Faber?
No,
Faber
the artist.
Lane?
Yeah, Faber Alley. His name is Powfu or something. It's like Powfu. He had a big TikTok hit, I think. I think that's what it was.
There it is.
There it is. Just instant.
Isaiah Faber. Yeah, I do remember Faber because I think they had he had one record on something, and then I think something happened and he quit or something, and then that was it. I never heard from him ever again, kind of thing. I think he stopped. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I think they had a record on Universal. Like they were in that crop of bands that we were coming up with, like Faber and Marianas Trench and those kind of bands.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago.
It's kind of nice that, we've talked about this before, how it feels like the music business is almost changing back to that singles market. Kind of like, back in the 60s or 50s even, where, the young kids nowadays, it almost doesn't seem like they're as interested in getting those big, long play albums. They're more interested in just what's the song. I want to hear your song, and then that's it. And
I've noticed that too. Like even you hear about like kids, like nieces and nephews or whatever, that are learning guitar, and at guitar lessons, they'll learn the craziest mixture of songs. Like it used to be, you know, that if you're, say, my age, you'd go and you'd learn all the biggest grunge hits and and like everything off of Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream or whatever. But now it's kids will learn Green Day and then a Pink song and then like a theme song for a video game and all this wacky shit. So it's very strange and fragmented, I find, the musical taste nowadays.
And technology is flattened out. It's we kind of got to, in our lifetime, got to see all the different genres. Like you think about 80s was kind of like the introduction to a lot of, like, it's probably the best kind of sound, where it was like, you know, think about Michael Jackson and all the stuff that came out in the 80s. It was just sounded phenomenal. Like I remember how good what's that band called, Tears for Fears? Remember how good their records sounded?
Man,
it was like,
such a great record.
Insane. And then it was just all the technology, and then the 90s was like the response to that. It was just like, remember every band, grunge band, wore like boots, looked like they were worked in the forest, plaid shirts tied around their waist.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was like it was the response to that 80s technology. It was like, oh man. And then it was like, and then it was 2000 angry.
We're gonna make a whole record with one mic jammed in a cardboard box.
That's what it sounds. Yeah,
it's gonna sound amazing.
In the corner of the room. Take that.
Sound like crap.
Take that 80s.
Yeah, I found the exact same thing, man. I was just talking about this the other day because I was getting frustrated with TikTok hits, and you know, it seems like, you know, in the 70s, it was like, you know, be cool and be expressive. And then the 80s, it was all, look at me, look at me, look at me. And then the 90s was kind of the response to that. Like, no, fuck that, be cool. And then the 2000s till now has kind of been look at me stage. So I'm hoping that maybe we'll get back to not that. But that seems to be the TikTok thing. And as begrudgingly as I'm sort of getting pulled into that world where I'm on TikTok now, and I kind of hate it.
It will probably. It will go back. I mean, we can only take so much of this constant social media. Everything is just like you said. Look at me. The narcissism. It's got to implode at some point where we go back to like the grunge, where people just have long hair in front of their face. The Lane Staleys that just like don't want to be on camera ever.
Yeah, it's interesting. It creates a cool vibe, though. I don't know. I like that when rock stars were kind of aloof.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Untouchable,
you know? Introverted. The mysterious, the Elvises that, you know, he supposedly would never come downstairs and greet anybody until he was done up, even like his wife. No one ever saw Elvis disheveled, ever, you know,
without his Canadian tuxedo on.
Without his Canadian tuxedo on. Yes.
Oh man. So when you guys I wanted to go back to that for a sec. You guys were working in England. Who were you working with in England?
It was Martin Terefe, Swedish producer. Yeah, he was recommended from our A&R guy, and he did that huge Train album.
Oh wow.
Hey Soul Sister and all that stuff. But he's like does a lot of more kind of solo artist acoustic stuff. Like he did all the
Jason Mraz
did all the Jason Mraz, did the who's the guy that took a pill in Ibiza.
Oh yeah.
He does I think he does a lot of that kind of stuff.
It was awesome working with him. We really loved it. He's a vibe guy, right? So he's like way different than what we had done in the past, where we felt like we spent so much time just like turning the music into a clock. You know, we're trying to make everything so tight and so perfect.
Right.
He wanted it to be the opposite. He's like, I don't even want you guys to play these songs together until you show up in studio, and I want to hear you guys screw up and make mistakes. And he wants to be there for that and capture, you know, trying stuff and hearing stuff. And he'll grab a guitar or piano and be like, oh, I hear something. You know, it's fun, and it makes it's different. He just sort of joins your band for. Dude,
I love that.
Almost.
I think that's what's, you know, we were talking about like when records used to sound great, and I think there was a bit of that magic from that because no one does pre-production anymore. You know, like I think I only did one record ever where it was like you sit in the studio with the producer and it's just this painstaking, terrible, but awesome process. And you know, nowadays it's all fragmented and, you know, I'm a part of the problem is I'll, you know, record a bunch of stuff here, record my own vocals and then send it into my producer. He sends me stuff back and we're never actually in the same room. And it's not as cool as it used to be. I got to get back to that. It's just more fun.
Yeah, you listen to some of the like. Want to go back to the '80s stuff, or like think about AC/DC in a room, or GNR in a room, or Metallica. But yeah, like any of those bands, like in a room. Like I love watching some of the Metallica stuff, where even if they're sloppy or messing up, it's nice to see them like, yeah, do that again. You see Lars kind of conducting everything.
Yeah, you see them as human beings all of a sudden.
Yeah, and I love that. I'm like, yeah, that's how you used to do when you were a kid. Jamming, you'd be like, what was that? I don't know. And then you're like, that was the wrong note, but it sounded really cool. And then the bass player's like, I did that on purpose.
Yeah,
and they just take credit for it. Exactly.
That was me.
It was intentional.
Yeah. What note was that? That was cool.
Yeah, it's there's some magic to that for sure. And that's one thing about doing the solo artist stuff is that there's not really the jam rights anymore. Like it's more tons of co-writing, obviously, and that's kind of a country music thing too. But yeah, I sort of missed that a little bit. I think that's one thing about rock that was so cool is it was just like you could fumble your way onto something amazing just by sitting and playing with a bunch of people in a room. So yeah, I mean this last year of foraying back into rock a little bit on the production and writing side has really tempted me to maybe throw a rock record together one of these days.
Well, country's kind of close to rock now. I'm hearing a lot of country stuff it's pretty much like a lot of it sounds like kind of the older rock stuff.
Oh, totally.
Southern twang. Do you ever go down to Nashville and write with any of those guys? Like, have you ever been down to the Big Loud Shirt folks? You know those guys?
I don't really know those guys, but I usually go to Nashville like 2-3 times a year just to hang out and write. And actually, last time I was there, I was staying with Corey Marks, who's opening a tour for you guys right away, right? Yeah,
Corey
he's blurred
Marks.
the lines.
Yeah, I just sang on one of his songs.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you guys did that thing. It was
Blame it on a double. Yeah, that was fun.
They just put out a country mix too, which I thought sounded really great. Si
has a banjo solo in it.
Yeah.
It's not me playing banjo though.
Don't you play banjo?
Did you? Well, yeah, a few times we used to do. Me and my girl from our first record had the banjo lick in it, and I wanted to just smash that fucking banjo every day. I wanted to just destroy it. The bridge would just like fall over or something. I'd be like,
I play one live sometimes, and it's the worst. It's fucking worst. It's just a feedback magnet.
Yeah,
the snare drum with a microphone on it.
Yeah, perfect. Just whatever.
I kind of got over it. Like I think it was this cool look for the fans. Thought it was cool. There's this banjo on stage, and I was like, I'm over it.
10 seconds in. Oh man.
Yeah.
So those are the good times when we're out with you guys and you're doing that record. I have a lot of fun memories. It was like we were touring pretty ghetto back then, but those are kind of the good old days when you're just like sleeping on the floor of a van, eating pepperoni and drinking chocolate milk and watching Steven Seagal movies for 90% of your life.
You'll never forget that.
What Steven Seagal movies? What's the best one? What's the Kelly LeBrock one? Hard to Kill?
Is it Under Siege or Hard to Kill? I don't know. There's so many good lines. The goddamn cook's a seal. Like, this is just amazing. Yeah.
Under Siege that's the first one is on the boat.
That's the one.
And the second one's on the train.
Man, you know you're Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
Big
The
fan.
second one's on the train where like the girl sprays his face and she's like mace, and he's like takes it and goes pepper spray. That's the best part of the movie ever. It's like she's like mace, like motherfucker, and he's like he takes it pepper spray.
I've been on this big kick lately where I have to have something on while I'm working out, so I've been rolling through 80s action movies, and I crushed all of the Rambos last week, and dear God, that is cinema magic. Good.
Rambo First Blood was like filmed just outside of Vancouver, and
that's right.
It was literally like the highlight of our summer when we got to go to Hope and go to the Rambo Museum.
That's right.
Which had all the stuff in this. That's where the gas station was that they blew up in First Blood Part 1.
No way.
It was amazing.
Yeah. All right, I'm stopping in Hope on my next trip out to Vancouver.
You got to. They used to have like the cardboard cutouts. You could stick your face in. The cardboard cutouts had all this like military stuff from. It's full on. They had a Rambo museum. I wonder if it's still there.
Yep. That was the most famous thing for us back when we were kids. It's like you'd watch Rambo and you're like, wow. We're famous.
And then,
yeah,
like
that was filmed here.
It gets so intense by the fourth movie. Like there's a scene where I'm pretty sure Rambo kills 75 people in the span of 30 seconds. Like it's like a little over the top, but I loved it.
So gory. Is that the one where he's just got the M60 thing? He's like,
yeah, exactly. And that's actually the noise he made too. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Well, we'll have to like get together at some point and do some shows. I'm sure, I'm sure we can go anywhere. We could go down to Australia. Maybe you can take us to Australia.
Yes. And you guys can ride in the van and watch Steven Seagal movies.
We could tour together. I mean, I think our music would work together. We could get out on the road together. It'd be fun. That'd be a fun 100%. Run across Canada.
Reunion tour. I'm in. 100%.
Dave will bring back the banjo.
Bring the banjo back out just so I can smash it.
What better reason to bring the banjo back out? I'm in.
So much fun.
I'll smash mine.
I have a lot of rage.
I see that.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, well, go check out Dan Davidson's new song with the old Road Hammers, who I love, by the way.
Yep.
Roll with it. Whatever the hell else you got going on. I like that. I love that found video where you had to wear all the furry. You guys were a bunch of furry.
Dude, we've done so many weird ones. Like transformed my garage into the bridge of the Starship Enterprise with $400 worth of cardboard in one. And
awesome.
What's that famous astronaut retweeted it? It was hilarious.
Good stuff.
Who was I can
the Canadian guy?
The Canadian guy with the Ned Flanders mustache.
Yeah, and he always plays guitar. He's like playing jamming in space.
Chris Hadfield. That's his name.
Yeah, that's Chris Hadfield. I love that guy.
I watched part of his masterclass. Actually, he has a masterclass.
Oh, really?
I watched part of it.
Survive in space.
It was awesome. He said something like, we don't go into space just crossing our fingers. Like,
that's right.
We everything's been checked and rechecked and checked.
He's pretty great though. I love hearing him speak. There's all those science podcasts and like those Neil deGrasse Tyson guys. It always just makes me feel stupid and amazed. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I like that they're actually older. The astronauts aren't 22. They're not dudes like that have been like, I was in the Navy for, I think Hatfield was like, he was like a test pilot in the Canadian military. Then he went and worked for the United States Navy or something, I think.
Crazy. Give it time. Pretty soon they'll be saying, space is a young man's game.
What's that?
Space is a young man's game. That's what they'll be saying in a few years.
Well, it's like when you drive past the fire station, you see like all the firefighters outside, and they're like these 60-year-old dudes with huge pot bellies. You're like, I don't want that guy pulling me out of a fire.
No kidding. I mean, no dreambo. Cool, man. Well, there you go. Thanks for coming on our old podcast. We'll see you down the road.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me, guys. It was nice to see your beautiful faces
fun
again.
Catching up. Say hi to Dean. He'll be listening. He was pretty excited that you were the guest today. So.
Oh, no way. Dean wore a Tupelo shirt in one of your guys' music videos, and we were all excited about it back in the day.
Dean loved you guys too, man. He always, Dean loves to support music. So he's a huge fan of everything you do.
Dean
definitely give my best to that guy.
Dean likes to support good music.
That's true.
Well, I like that about Dean. He's good people. Clayton Bellamy told me he's going to call you and bug you about coming on the podcast too. So I'm doing a write with him in about 10 minutes. I'm going to tell him you said no.
There you go.
Sweet. Tell me he said only professionals.
That's right. And you have to wear your jean jacket if you come on. That's a rule.
That's it.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks so much for being here on the show with us. Everyone's going to check out all your socials. I don't know them, but we'll figure them out. Post them up
At
there.
it's DanDavidson.com
or something.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. Google machine. DanDavidsonmusic.com.
There's
my plug. Thanks, dudes. That was so much fun.
Peace. Great to see you.
Guys. You too.
Cool, man.
Talk soon.
See you, dude.
Bye.
Good times.
Yep.
I definitely think we could get on the road together. I think that would be a great package. We'll put let's put a bunch of artists together, a bunch of different genres even, and it'll be fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's always good to go perform with people that you've played with before too. You already know that they're going to be great.
Yeah, good entertainment.
We've rarely ever toured with people that were like, we never kicked anyone off tour. There was a band that they should have got kicked off, but they hated the tour so much that our tour manager forced them to stay on it. Do you remember that band? The guy who pissed out the window
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And our tour manager's like, no, they're staying on. They're not going home because I guess the guy was so miserable or something, which makes no sense to me. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, what are you miserable about? This is you get to play music every night. What the
can't be that
hell?
bad. You play guitar for an hour. That's life sucks. Yeah, man. It's always good to catch up with old friends. Dave, I'm going to take this jean jacket off and hit the gym.
Yeah, good idea.
And it's also 90 degrees outside, so I can't wear this outside either.
Yeah, I'm not hitting any gyms today.
Are you finally going to move, or what's the deal? Is this it?
Pretty close. I'm pretty close. I'm going to probably tear down the stuff behind me now, and next podcast will be in a new location with, I don't know what'll be behind me. We'll see.
Well, you probably stage it. If the people could see, that's probably a cardboard. Everything in the background is fake. It's a green screen.
It's all real, dude. It's all real. Ugh. Hand hit a window.
Yeah. It's a curtain. You're in jail.
Awesome.
Your mom's making dinner in the background. Go get some Killcliff, Ignite, and check out our band meeting podcast. Blah, blah, blah. Dave, anything else?
No, I think that's it. So let's wrap it up. Play what we promised them at the start. Play the music.
Best part of the whole fucking show right here.
Play the music.
Bye.
Band meeting with Tyler Dave.